今回は圧巻の投球でチームの勝利に貢献した山本由伸投手の話題で盛り上がりを見せていた現地局の様子を見ていきます。それでは行ってみましょう。日本時間5月21日、ドジャースの山本由伸投手は本拠地で行われたダイヤモンドバックス戦に先発登板をしました。山本投手は7回の先頭打者に初安打を許すまでノーヒットピッチングの圧巻の投球。7回は2アウト1、3塁のピンチを迎えるも、スミス選手を空振り三振に仕留めると、客席も総立ちで大歓声を送りました。この投球にドジャース側の現地実況を務めるスティーブン・ネルソン氏も大興奮。山本投手はメジャー自己最多の7回110球を投げ、1安打、無失点、9奪三振の好投。チームが9回に追いつかれ、山本投手の6勝目はお預けとなるも、ドジャースは延長でサヨナラ勝利しました。また、この日の大谷選手は1番指名打者で先発出場をしました。大谷選手は延長10回裏に決勝の生還を果たすなど、4打数1安打、1得点、1敬遠、1盗塁で3試合連続安打をマーク。14試合ぶりとなる盗塁も記録し、今季の成績を打率3割1分1厘、17本塁打、11盗塁としました。ここからは試合前の現地の様子、そして大谷選手の打席時の現地実況、試合後の両軍の現地局の様子を見ていきます。
All right, hopefully they can get some run support for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the Dodgers gave Yoshi that record contract in December 2023 to eventually become an ace of this staff. And one of those main things that aces do, and what you look for your ace to do, is to stop losing streaks, which is something Yoshi will try to get done here tonight. Let's head inside the stadium for the first time. Check in with Kirsten Watson. She joins us live with more on Yamamoto. Hi there, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Well, if you look at the Yoshinobu's last outing against the Diamondbacks, it was a start in which they were able to double his ERA. And as much as he felt like his stuff was good, he recognized that giving up that grand slam, that's how the team lost the game. So, of course, he comes into this one looking to right some of those wrongs. Dave Roberts talked about him being the ace, being the stopper in this one.
This is one of those starts. I mean, obviously, we're mired in a losing streak, and you know, he's our ace, and so he's kind of had a couple pedestrian outings, his last two, but he's obviously had a fantastic start to the season. But these are the nights that you need your ace to be a stopper and go deep in a game.
And for Yoshinobu, just with talking to some of the players around here, kind of the mindset of going into this one, for him to be that stopper, he said, when you have an ace like him on the mound, it's a different level of confidence. So hopefully he can set the tone early in this one tonight, guys.
All right, Dodgers need to get back into that win column. Kirsten, thank you very much. You could tell behind Kirsten. Shohei Ohtani doing MVP things again. On the left, you see what he's done this season. 312 average, the OPS nearly 1,100, 17 homers, 10 stolen bases, 51 runs scored, leads all of baseball in homers and runs. On the right, last season's numbers on this same date. He's hitting 347, slightly lower OPS, fewer homers, and the run total way off where he's at with this year's pace. And yes, he was the unanimous MVP a season ago. So maybe we don't expect another 50-50 season, not ruling out 50-40, Jerry, but purely for entertainment purposes only, do you think it's possible that Shohei has a better all-around offensive season this year than last?
Is it possible? Yes. Will he? I don't know, because anytime you say a guy like a Shohei Ohtani, really is one of one, can't do something, guess what? He does it. He's way ahead of his pace with the home runs. The long ball is there now. The stolen bases is in the same ballpark. I don't want that stolen base number to go up, especially when he gets back on the mound. Will he have the same numbers? It will be similar, but I will say this. With the pitching side, it will be more impressive if he continues or is in the same ballpark of last year's offensive number, because he will be pitching in the second half of the season.
Well, you just touched on it. You know, don't say no to a guy that's competitor, because he'll go out there and prove you wrong. So let's say no. So let's just say it so he can go out there. But honestly, I don't put anything past this guy, because he's so fun to watch. He's so dynamic, and he is so talented. So, yeah, I mean, last year was not only impressive from the offensive side as far as the numbers and the power and the scoring runs, but the stolen bases obviously were a major impact as well. I don't think he's going to go, nor should he have the same amount of stolen bases just due to the value that we're trying to get him back on the mound. And that may have an impact on his offensive side too once they get him back on the mound when he's out there. I mean, we will see. But at the same time, you put nothing past Shohei Ohtani.
What's crazy is he's getting ready to start throwing in some pitchers, or batters. I mean, I can't even get out of my mouth because he does incredible things building up to the second half. He's throwing bullpens and getting his mind right to be a pitcher. Oh, by the way, now you got to go lead off and help be the catalyst of our offense. That is crazy to say, and I'm saying it again. Babe Ruth didn't do this. Babe Ruth started out as a pitcher and he became a hitter. He said, you know what's so good? You're going to put down the pitching side. You're going to focus as a hitter. Shohei is still trying to do both, which is so impressive.
Well, and the Dodgers, they're understandably slow playing Shohei's return to the mound because it's really about having him in peak condition, Nomar, for the stretch run and also into October. But to Jerry's point, there are a lot of people outside of this organization who say Shohei should just hit only. He should only DH. But you look at how many guys are injured on this pitching staff, it seems like Shohei as a pitcher is becoming a necessity very soon.
Well, it looks that way, and you would say that because of all the injuries, but at the same time, if you do that, what are you risking? So you're supposed to have enough depth so you don't have to do that or feel like you have to do that, nor do I think the Dodgers are going to do that. They are going to make sure, first and foremost, that he is healthy, and when he's ready to go out there, he'll go out there. But there is no need to press or push that back due to the injuries that you're dealing with. There's other ways to have to deal with that and sustain that, but in the meantime, it's a matter when he is ready to go out there because you can't afford him to deal with an injury, another arm injury that sets him back, and then you take away and lose what he provides on the offensive side.
And here's the thing, too. Listen, Shohei may come up to me and punch me for saying this, and he will be in the right. I could take a punch, just not in the face. But how about when he does come back and pitch, maybe he just focused on pitching that night and he does not hit. I know it sounds crazy, but to Nomar's point, we got to, like, kind of coming off an injury to a hamstring or a calf, you got to slow play a little bit. So when he takes the mound, he just focusing on pitching and have somebody DH.
Yep.
And then he starts to get in that groove. And then come August, September, then you can have him pitch and DH at the same time.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to punch you in the face. Steven Nelson and Oral Hershiser calling this one. Right now, they join us live from upstairs in the booth with a preview. Hi there, Steve.
Hey there, John. Yeah, volume, it's hard to hear you. Mexican Heritage Night is absolutely electric here at Dodger Stadium. And maybe this is the vibe switch that the Dodgers need, Oral, because they've lost a season-high 4 straight games. The last time they lost 5 in a row was actually basically a year ago, so something about the end of May. How do they snap out of the funk?
I think the formula has been the same over the last 4 games. It's get a 0 in the first inning and don't give up any runs after the 7th and then have the offense that they've been having. But for me, I grew up in a generation where my manager was Tommy Lasorda. And when you say how to snap a losing streak, he would snap it a different way. He would snap it with emotion. And if something goes wrong tonight, if there's a called strike 3 in a big situation and it was really a ball, if there's a pitch that Yamamoto gets or somebody, one of the relievers gets that just goes the wrong way, I don't mind them snapping themselves. I don't mind seeing that emotion. That release of emotion sometimes is good for the player or the pitcher, but it's really good sometimes for the rest of the team to know how much everybody cares and enough is enough.
Interesting, especially with a team that's filled with most guys who are more reserved into themselves. So we'll see. Obviously, the preference would be happiness in winning a ball game. A huge part of that, you hope, is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, he's pitched in the World Baseball Classic in the semifinals. He's pitched in the World Series in Game 2 and done amazing. Yes, this is another piece of being an ace and having a resume built that you can be counted on. And don't go out there and try and coast thinking, I need to go 7 innings, I need to save energy. You get to the 7th inning by getting the first guy out and having stuff early on that just shuts teams down. And then you put them in a hole, your pitch count will be fine, and you go 7 innings.
Kirsten Watson down next to the dugout.
Well, Stephen, with Yoshinobu on the mound and Hae-sung Kim playing defense behind him, these two guys have built a really special relationship. There will be times when both of them are down on the bench. Well, they will just be chit-chatting with each other pretty much the entire game. And there was a moment where I was like, what language are they speaking to each other? Because I didn't think there were similar words in Korean and Japanese. I asked around, and they said there are a few that are similar, but not really. So finally, I got to talk to the guys, and they said they speak to each other in English. And so it's a little bit of a broken English because they're both learning, but it's a way for them to continue practicing, and it works perfectly for them, guys.
Bonded, of course, Kirsten, through the universal language of baseball as well. Also, Kirsten, this is a genuine question. Who doesn't feel like they have a special relationship forming with Hae-sung Kim?
No one. I think we all think he's our best friend.
In his 28th start here, he's only done that one other time where he's given up one hard hit ball, and that was a 5-inning outing. So he is locked and loaded tonight and producing and performing like an ace, with the Dodgers needing a win with a 4-game losing streak they're trying to break.
Curveball outside, 3-1 on Ketel Marte. Yamamoto at 94 pitches. Nobody throwing in the bullpen, but everybody watching in the bullpen. Marte, a rocket to right. Pages on the run. It goes over his head and off the base of the wall, but he gets it back in quickly, and Marte holds up on first with a leadoff base hit. The first of the game for Arizona against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the fans that recognize it at Dodger Stadium standing and applauding. That's a performance that will stand the test of time. That'll always be on Yamamoto's highlight reel that we saw last summer in the Bronx.
He's pitched in the semifinals of the WBC and pitched well. He's pitched in Game 2 of the World Series against the Yankees and pitched well. This game here in regular season simulates some of that pressure.
Pitch 110. An ace on the mound. 2 on, 2 out. Here's the 2-2. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 7 shutout innings.
Everything that he's done has been fantastic.
This is as well Ohtani the opposite way. Onto the warning track, a stand-up double with 1 out in the 8th as the Dodgers are hunting some insurance.
Well, it was a nice job from Alex Vesia pitching out of the inning, and then Kasparius comes in and throws 6 breaking balls a row that gets him out of the bases loaded 2-out jam, and now looking for a little momentum from the offense, and Ohtani chimes in.
First hit of the ball game for Ohtani, gets on for Mookie Betts.
Boy, did the Dodgers need that. That 4-game losing streak finally comes to an end. And what a game it was for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, stepping up, being that stopper the Dodgers needed, that ace. Takes a no-hitter into the 7th inning, gets a 1-0 lead, and then Arizona gets a home run to tie it in the 9th, a 2-run homer in the 10th. Jarrett's not looking good, but the Dodgers answer with 3 in the bottom of the 10th for the walk-off win.
First and foremost, Yamamoto, outstanding job tonight. Pitched like an ace, really brought his A game, needed that out of him. Obviously, the D-backs stayed in the ball game. They fought back and then went ahead 3-1. But the never say die Dodgers, they continue to battle back and figure out a way to to win this ball game.
Yeah, this game is really about Yamamoto. You know, we were talking about the amount of pressure. This is when you step up as an ace. Not only do you have to go there and go deep into the ball game to try to get your bullpen some rest, the other thing is also trying to be that stopper. He did everything he possibly could. Go in 7 innings, shutout innings, was outstanding, gave him a chance to win. You know, the bullpen struggled once again, but at the same time, we were also talking to Teoscar before the game, like, do you guys feel pressure? No, but we also feel like we got to find a way to step up, put some runs, and I'll tell you, when the pressure was on, they found a way to put those runs up and win this game.
But that's the story here. Sometimes you're going to go through phases where the pitching won't be there, but you need to pick each other up, and that's what this offense did. They picked up the bullpen. We know the bullpen will be there in the end. Great job on the offense.
Fourth walk-off win of the season for the Dodgers tonight. It was Max Muncy delivering the walk-off winner. Let's hear from Muntz right now. He's standing by with Kirsten Watson.
Max, this game was something else, but for you guys to come back and win this, first just being in that situation to come in clutch, how important was that for you to get that result?
It was huge. I think most important for us was seeing Yama go, you know, as deep as he did. Gave us a lot of length. We really needed that. He was unbelievable tonight. I thought he had the stuff to go the distance for us, but you know, just to be able to fight back, you get punched in the mouth, be able to, you know, punch right back. It's big out of the guys.
Playing behind Yoshinobu tonight, what gave him the edge that you were seeing from him on the mound?
He was just attacking. It looked like he had command of all of his pitches. He was moving out on both sides of the plate. He had them off balance, and, you know, he was just really, really good.
With the matchup in Arizona, it seems like we've come to expect this battle between these two teams. But for you all, did it feel like a must-win tonight?
I mean, we've been in a little bit of a slide, so yeah, tonight was a big one to get, especially against a division opponent. You know, it's just hopefully we can take this momentum, move forward, and keep building on it. And, you know, like I said, it was huge for Yama to give us some length.
Well, Max, congratulations on this win tonight.
Thank you.
Couldn't stretch the pitch count much further than that, considering he's worked most of the year in relief. He was up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who for a while, I was getting a lot of text up here in the booth, hey, it's a no-hitter. Well, no kidding. The guy was really good here tonight.
Yeah, he was good, and we didn't see as many splitters as we anticipated. He had a real good curveball that he stole some strike ones against the Diamondbacks tonight, but his best weapon was a low fastball right across the bottom of the knees all night long.
Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. It was broken up by Ketel Martiz, a single to lead off the 7th, but Yamamoto, 7 scoreless, only 1 hit. He walked 2, punched out 9, and threw 110 pitches, a career high.
Yeah, it seems odd in this day and age to extend a guy that far, but Yamamoto didn't look like he was losing anything out there on the mound, so I can certainly see why Dave Roberts rolled with him as long as he did.
Yoshi, you were excellent tonight, but just when you look at the result of this game, for this team to battle back, to pick up the win, just how big was that for this group?
今日まず素晴らしいピッチングでしたけども、同点になって逆転されて、そこから今日勝てたっていうのはチームとしてはどういう意味があるでしょう。
逆転、一度されましたけど、最後まで、打線つながって、なんとか全員で勝てたので、すごくいい試合だったと思います。
That was a great game, you know, because they got tied and then flipped the game. But we came back and winning a game like this is great.
For you personally, just 7 shutout innings, but you were pretty reliant on the curveball. Was that game plan or was that just feel and execution of your pitch?
今日、7回シャットアウトだったんですけども、その中でやっぱカーブっていうのは、山本さんの中で重要だったんですか、今日投げる中で。
そうですね、カーブだったりカットボールだったり、ウィルの、ウィルが、なんていうんだろう、すごく考えて、うまく配球してくれたので、とにかくウィルを信じて思い切り、投げていきました。
Will was calling the great games, and I trusted him, and then I made my best pitches.
Were you aware that you were throwing a no-hitter?
Sorry.
Were you aware that you were throwing a no-hitter for 6, and what was sort of going through your head over the course of the outing?
途中までノーヒットで行ってたっていうことで、ノーヒットノーランとかちょっと考えたりはしましたか？
やっぱり9イニングはやっぱすごく遠いので、130球ぐらい投げれたらですけど、球数も順調にいってたんで、はい、とにかく目の前のバッターに集中して投げてました。
So completed full 9 innings is really hard, and then because also today because my pitch count was going up, so I wasn't really thinking about it.
How you and Yoshinobu navigated through their lineup just so efficiently. What was working so well for you guys tonight?
Yeah, he was just mixing. You know, his curveball was really good tonight. His cutter, you know, turned out to be really good tonight as well. Obviously, he's always got good fastball command. His changeup was for a splitter was really good. So, yeah, just mixing it up, keeping him off balance, going up, down, in, out, all that. He just executed. It was really fun tonight.
Was leaning on that curveball, was that more kind of game plan, or was that just kind of how it was playing and how he was executing it?
Yeah, just kind of how it was playing. He was striking it really well. He was getting it below 2 strikes. So he was kind of, rolling with it.
Yoshi was fantastic. We needed every bit of it. Certainly, we pushed him more than we have all year, and he earned that opportunity. I thought tonight he was just getting ahead of hitters all night long. The split, the curveball really came into play today. But that's a very tough lineup to navigate. And he just competed his tail off and going 7 innings. Set us up certainly to win a ball game. And I thought early we swung the bats well, didn't get anything to show for it. But, it certainly turned in that 9th inning. But to come away with the win was huge. I don't know if it was a must-win, but certainly given Yoshi's outing, I think that you could almost you don't want to waste that great of an outing. And so it was just good to see after going down 2 runs in that 9th inning to come back and, Tommy putting together a really nice at-bat, getting a hit on an off day and coming in there late into the game, playing a role. And
you used the word ace before the game about Yoshinobu, and you don't use that lightly. How has he defined it, not just in this game, but also throughout the season?
I do kind of pick, I use that word very carefully and cautiously because there's a lot of that comes with that. And certainly track record. I think there's just the ability to go deep in games when you need it, to handle left and right, to be a top-end guy. There's very few in the big leagues. And so I just see a confident player. And even that Pavin Smith at bat where he got over 100 pitches right there, he wanted that last hitter. And so I like looking at guys and trusting the guy that's on the mound.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。